While CNN and Acosta have been favorite targets of abuse by the administration, the president's criticism has been directed at other news organizations, too. The president has actively criticized and discredited any journalist or media outlet he believes might report something he considers negative. As the president explained to Leslie Stahl of 60 Minutes, "You know why I do it. I do it to discredit you all and demean you all, so when you write negative stories about me, no one will believe you." Okay, what does this have to do with the lawsuit? They're trying to create, like I said, a universal argument that they represent not just CNN, not just Jim Acosta, but the press, that they're protecting the press, that they're protecting the First Amendment, which raises a question. Let me ask you a footnote question, as we'll call it. Anytime the Second Amendment comes up, the media and the left, one and the same, they argue, well, when the Constitution was adopted, the framers of the Constitution, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, they meant muskets. Surely they didn't mean semi-automatic weapons and this, that, and the other. You hear them make that case, right? Well, first of all, the Bill of Rights were adopted separately from the Constitution, even though they're clearly part of the Constitution. But let me turn that question around on the media, since we're talking about the Bill of Rights. That's the Second Amendment. Well, let's go back to the First Amendment and freedom of the press. Was cable TV around when they adopted the First Amendment? No. Was network TV around when they adopted the First Amendment? No. Was TV around when they adopted the First Amendment? No. Were satellite radio and TV around when they adopted the First Amendment? No. Tell me, were transistors? No. How about digital TV? No. So the vast majority of the media we use today didn't exist. All they had were newspapers and pamphlets and printing presses. So does that mean that's what they were protecting? I mean, if the Second Amendment's to be interpreted as just about muskets, then why isn't freedom of the press to be interpreted just about printing presses and pamphlets and newspapers? Now, I say this to point out the utter contempt I have for the hypocrisy of the left. The Bill of Rights is meant to apply to whatever the circumstances, right? To protect the individual from government. We believe in freedom of the press. But we also believe that when individuals use freedom of the press to stymie freedom of the press, but even more, to stymie free speech, because the press exists to promote speech, really, among groups, among individuals, to inform us and so forth, then that person, just because they work for a company, a corporation, Time Warner ultimately, that owns CNN, that person doesn't get to obstruct freedom of speech and freedom of press either, by using the form of a presidential press conference.
Want to see more? Sign up for Levin TV.